These rubber pieces will not come off, so you just pop the panel, can slide it out of the way. Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer Cars. Now some of you may or may not know, I own a 1982 air-cooled VW Vanagon Camper Westfalia. And I'm just getting ready to go for 2019 season, and there's a couple of maintenance things I want to do to it. There's a couple of parts that I bought from SIP1 over the winter, and let me just show you what I got here. First thing, a new air boot. This is the air intake plenum. And that's because the one that I have in here has been RTV sealed. It's not leaking too bad, but SIP1 was having a sale and they actually had the genuine air intake for a Vanagon 80 to 83 intake boot. I'm going to replace this. Should be easy, just two clamps, one clamp here, pull off these air hoses, and that should be an easy replacement. The other thing I want to replace is the exhaust tip, which is rotted right away. Like there's nothing left of the exhaust tip. It's totally rotten. So I got one of those as well. It's a little bit different style though, as it's for a 70 bus. So it's a straight tip instead of a curved tip, but the actual gasket seems to be a match. So I'm gonna try and bolt that on, but the bolts that are on here are super duper crusty. And it looks like it's been RTV sealed. So I just blasted it with my favorite product for releasing bolts, Release All. There, and I'm just letting that sit for a minute. So I'm going to try and do that. Now I also did buy the actual gasket for it. So I've got the gasket, but I don't have the bolts. If those bolts break, I'm kind of screwed. And then the last thing I have to fix is the blower switch on the dash. I don't have any blower control anymore, so I've got this little three-way switch. We'll try and get that to work. All right, so I'm gonna keep working on this and I'll come back when I've got some progress. First task is to kind of pull these hoses off. That was easy. This one should also be easy. Yep, so they're just Phillips head screwdriver. These clamps should be easy to remove. That one was easy. And this one's kind of grungy down in here, but also should be easy. Should be able to pull it off this side. Whoa, that's kind of deep. Okay, that one's off. There might not be quite enough room with this airbox in the way. Okay, success. I did get it off, but I did pull off the top of the airbox, so that's 4 clamps, one MAF sensor plug, and then the top of the airbox comes right off. Look, good thing to check. Looks like my air filter's due for a replacement too, so I'll check to see if I have an air filter. I think I do. And that gave me plenty of access down in here to pull that boot off. So now it's off. I just have to extract the clamps because I do not have new clamps, put them on the new boot, and good to go. Wondering why this tinfoil piece is here? That's just to stop hot air from coming from under the engine into the inside, because these gaskets shrink over time. And this vehicle's almost 40 years old, and this gasket is very hard to find, so it's has a bit of a gap. That's a little ugly piece, but overall this engine's in very good shape and it runs very well. So it's always a good idea to compare your old piece with your new piece and make sure it's an exact match, that you got the right part. This looks correct, so we're going to proceed with the install. Ideally it would be great to be using new clamps too, but I don't have them. Just going to tighten this so it doesn't fall off during install. And same with this one. You want to make sure that you have the screw pointing upwards so that it's accessible to tighten it once you get the hose on. And this guy on here. Ooh, that fit nice. I do not have a new air filter, so we're just gonna have to put this old one back on and carry on with the install. It's something quick and easy to get at later, so that's no problem. This needs to get up to the road. This needs to get up onto here. Okay. And then get this seated down in here without pinching anything. So far that's all going on nicely. You can't see anything. These guys have like teeth on them. They are just friction. Ugh. Get in there. I don't like that at all. That's what I'm trying to get installed in here. Okay, then this upper hose goes in this connector over here to this connector up top. No clamps on these, they're just friction fit. Got it installed correctly. Now I just need to clamp down my 2 clamps, make sure that nothing is disconnected from these. Okay, progress report. Things are going somewhat good and somewhat bad. So all the stuff about the air intake is done, but I've been working on the exhaust. I had to rip off the broken part just to get better access to the bolts, and I got 2 out of 3 off, but of course this top one is stripped. Not by me, someone else had stripped it out when they installed this. You can see a bunch of RTV sealant around this gasket area. Like this was someone had repaired this at one point. So I'm not entirely sure how to get that off. I don't have torches, I don't have heat. I've tried a plethora of tools to try and get it off, and it's just not coming, so I might have to give up on that. Everything in here looks pretty good. I gave up on the exhaust pipe. That's just not going to work out for today. The third thing I was trying to fix in this episode, which is the ventilation switch. This thing is completely seized, like it won't even turn anymore. It's completely buggered. So I bought this new one, and I'm going to try and figure out how to put it in. Here's what the switch looks like. This is the new switch, and hopefully it's compatible. It should be. I tried to pick the right one. I just have to figure out how to get in behind here. I was able to get the panel off. It is 2 little pins, one back in about here, this far in, and one over here, and I do have a trim removal tool, so I reached in behind and I just popped those, and that gets the panel out of the way, because these rubber pieces will not come off. So you just pop the panel, slide it out of the way, and then you can pull this out, and this is also clipped in place. There's a little, if you look at the new one, I wasn't sure what orientation it was in, but there's this this metal clip, and I thought maybe it's on the top or the side, and I just looked closely and I could see it. It's right here, so I just pressed on it and I was able to pull it out. So I just need to be able to get in behind here to remove the plug. You can try and reach down through the ashtray area, get your hand all the way back in there to unplug it, but I'm going to try and get in this way first and see if I can do it that way. Okay, success. I was able to actually just hold it in from behind. I put my hand down through here, I held it, and I was able to get enough leverage to hold it while pulling and pull it off. So that's the old switch out. I now just need to plug the new switch in. Should work. I have the new switch here. Now I'm just going to turn the ignition on and see if it works. Ooh. Cool. It works, sort of. Something weird going on with the switch. I got to figure it out. And the design is terrible, so it's really finicky. This is the new one. I can get 1 to work reliably. And I can get 3 to work reliably. But 2's a little finicky. You gotta like tap it. And then anyway, I'm living with it like that because I looked at how it works. This is the old one. It's the design of it is really stupid. It's this spring-loaded contact switch. So this is on a spring, and it's supposed to put pressure onto the plates that are on this side, and this is the old one that's a little worn out. So anyway, that's as good as it gets. I now have reliable fan speed 1 and reliable fan speed 3, and if I ever want to and it turns off reliably, and if I ever want to have it mid speed, then I'll just fiddle with it until it runs. So I've fixed the blower fan, and I replaced the air plenum in the engine, and the only thing I couldn't do was replace the tailpipe, but the tailpipe is totally cosmetic. It doesn't do anything other than make it look good. So really, I fixed 2 problems that the van had, and other than that, besides an oil change and vacuum it out, I think we're ready to go camping. All right guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below, and as always, thanks for watching. There's the brake fluid right there, which this van is probably also due for a brake fluid change because it's been a couple years, but this is just the dashboard. It all just pops apart. So I have to pop that back on, get all my pieces in place, put my ashtray back in place, and we're good to go. Oh, I'm excited to have electric fans back. That was a bit of a problem last year with electric fans. I would get fogged up and I couldn't clear it. All right, I'm happy with that for today. I'm gonna do an oil change later, but other than that, we are ready to get it back on the road.